my friends. Happy Halloween. I was just at Walt Disney's old original 1930s mansion in the hills of Los Angeles up near Hollywood. And I had some very strange experiences. So I posted about them on my Instagram and asked, would anyone really like to see these? And so it's just filmed with a cell phone. But here is my story, believe it or not, of the weird things I experienced at Walt Disney's real-life haunted mansion.
Do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? This is so rare. So unexpected, so infrequent. I'll cut right to the chase. It's the Sometimes Vlog. Yeah. It's a vlog that happens sometimes, not as often as it used to, but sometimes it still happens. Well, the pandemic humbugged us. It changed all our plans, ruined all our plans, locked us inside where things were boring. And there wasn't a purpose to the Sometimes Vlog. But we're not somewhere boring now. Now, I am standing in front of Walt Disney's real-life haunted mansion. Up in the hills above LA, there's downtown Los Angeles down there in the fog, the night before Halloween. And that's why the mustache, it's my Halloween costume. We are standing in the front driveway with the original stones, I believe, still, of Walt Disney's storybook mansion here on Woking Way. You can see a car down there, I think. I always thought it was Walking Way because it's W-O-K, like a walk. See, there's a car here. Woking Way in Los Feliz, right next to Hollywood in Los Angeles, California. This is the house that Walt Disney built the same year, if you're a fan, that Dracula hit theaters. So the same year that the original Universal Dracula and the year before the original Universal Frankenstein, it would be the same year Frankenstein came out that they moved in. Walt Disney constructed and moved into this house with his wife Lillian because Walt and Lily were going to have a baby. They had told her that she probably couldn't have a baby, and unfortunately, they started working on this house, and then she lost the baby. So this was actually a house built for Walt because he was going to have a family. Oh, we got the helicopter up there. Built for Walt because he was going to have a family with his wife, only to find out that they were not going to have a family and that it was probably impossible for them to have any children. They moved into this house, and then a miracle happened. Their miracle baby, Diane, was conceived and born and moved right into this house. I'm sure she was probably born at a hospital at that time and moved right into this house. This is Walt Disney's Miracle Mansion. Only 5 years after being in the garage with old Uncle Bob down there in 1928 when Mickey was born. Well, I guess Mickey would probably have been born when he was in the house down the road, but still. 5, 6, 7 years after being in Uncle Bob's garage, just after starting the Walt Disney Company, within a decade, he was up here building a $50,000 mansion in the Great Depression, which was cheap even then, to build a castle up in the sky here. Look at that. Walt Disney built himself a castle up here in the hills, and none of the other houses up here above us on the hills separating this property from Griffith Park would have been there. They would not have been there. Walt could have gone straight over there. And in fact, this house next door, which you can probably barely see here, wouldn't have been there. Would have been part of Walt's original property. Apologies for the shadow there. I usually try to avoid that. So right now, I am standing in front of Walt Disney's original dream mansion. Oh, let's walk a little closer, shall we? Walk this way. Right now, I'm standing in front of Walt Disney's original dream storybook mansion, because just inside, my friends from Haunted Orange County, see there's a little tent. Can you see it? Oh, there's a tree in the way. I've checked in some people for some paranormal tours. And so tonight is the night that they're not just giving a sort of haunted ghost tour, they're actually doing paranormal investigations inside this house. But of course, that's not my connection to the house. I'm not a paranormal guy. I'm here. Oh, the light just turned off. Okay, it's a little darker. Hopefully you can still see me. I'm out here because, of course, I love Walt Disney. Speaking of who, that's Walt's bedroom window right there. Keep an eye on that because weird stuff has been happening here. Now, this was Walt Disney's original front door, his door knocker, the peephole Walt sent me, the mailbox is all here. I filmed all of that in a video. The main Random Land video, short one. What was that? Did you hear that noise? This is a very spooky place indeed. They were doing these tours for Halloween. They do very rare, very occasional tours at this house. Sometimes Christmas events, or there'll be movie screenings, or different productions will rent it out. Imagineers will rent it out to have very important meetings or something like that. But it's mostly a private residence of a modern film director, the same guy who invented Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. His name is Timur. I cannot pronounce his last name properly, so I won't give it a try at this time. And through Dusty Sage of Mice Chat and some other people, they do occasionally rent this house out because the story is very inspiring. You have to take a tour to hear it, all about how this director had been inspired when he was growing up in Russia, I mean, a long time ago, by the stories of Walt Disney, and become obsessed with Walt Disney, and then managed to get Walt Disney's original mansion up here, his original Mickey Mouse mansion. And then, just through pure generosity, pure kindness of spirit, allows it to open up very rarely, but occasionally, to the public. And I'm working on, hopefully, finding some way to arrange that for you guys, for my special friends here on the internet. If we move around too much, that light will come on, so I just want to give you a little spooky vibe. I'm moving very slowly to avoid the security light coming on. But look at this place. Now, okay, the reason why, instead of just leaving it at that Random Land video, I had to come back and bring back the Sometimes vlog from the grave, as it were, just to talk to you. There's so many dogs barking all around in a circle right now. It's very scary. The reason is because look at this spookiness. What was that? Did you guys see lights in the window? Am I crazy? Some kind of weird reflection up there, man. That's spooky. And the tour isn't in this part of the house. They're back there in that garage. So there might be some lights over there. They're back over there at this moment. Nobody's supposed to be in the house. The reason I had to come back, let's turn the light back on. Hello, hello. Over here, perhaps. Hello. Oh, the light's supposed to turn on. It's very scary. There we go. The reason, what was I talking about? Anyway, they're all doing the Haunted Ghost Tour. The reason I'm up here, obviously Walt Disney, but the reason I had to bring back the Sometimes vlog and get crazy is because last night, I think this place might have shifted my whole worldview. Now if you guys have known me for years and years, maybe you're brand new and you don't know me, the Sometimes vlog used to be a thing between regular videos, 4K, nice, crisp, sharp, professionally-ish filmed videos. I do many travel documentaries and adventure videos and all that kind of stuff, and I've done that for years and years and years and years. I'm one of the very earliest people to do any kind of YouTube show, a proper show at Disneyland, or focusing on Disney theme parks. Now there's lots of them, but one of the early ones, so a lot of people know me from that. And I used to have these vlogs like this, just sort of unedited, off the cuff. And the reason I'm bringing it back, why it's so important, is because for those of you who do know me, you'll know that over the years I've been many places that are supposedly haunted. I've been many spooky places, had a few spooky experiences, but I'm always honest. And I always have to say, yeah, I heard something, or I woke up in the night with something, but it could have been this, or it could have been my power of suggestion, all that stuff, I'm not a fool. I realize that all those things are very powerful on the psyche and probable, logical explanations. Occam's razor always when it comes to explaining anything paranormal. Well, last night I had the 3-pack. 3 strikes, you're out. I can't explain it. I can't tell you that I for sure saw a ghost, but I for sure saw a ghost. Do you know what I'm saying? I think my worldview has been shifted all to now. I've said, I've seen a guy walking down the highway and he disappeared. That's a whole long story. I saw someone rushing towards me in the Queen Mary, right at the spot they say a ghost runs through the hallway. I didn't know that previously, but my story lined up with other people. Power of suggestion, maybe I did hear that story. I don't know, I can't explain it. But this was a 3-pack. It doubled my ghostly experiences. I cannot explain it. In this little doorway here where this light is, in this little doorway, I'm gonna go walk over there just to make sure that it stays lit. In this little doorway here, this would have been the back entrance to the projection room through this little window here, the projection room of Walt Disney's private screening room. So this window would actually be a bathroom, but in there, that way, is Walt Disney's private screening room. Imagine 1931, being able to have movies at home VHS players were 60 years away for families like mine. I mean, to have home movies, more than 60 years away. So that was incredible. But anyway, Walt Disney's projection room, screening room. Last night, a group of ghost tour, Halloween themed tour guests traveled through their entire house, and at the end, when they've traveled through the house, they've seen everything that you're allowed to see on the tour. You leave the final room, they travel out to the back, and they had a little cocktail hour out there for them. And as the guests were enjoying their cocktails, my friend Ernie, who runs Haunted Orange County, was out there serving the drinks. And I thought, oh, it'd be great, since the window right behind us in the screening room, I was allowed to, sort of roam the house in between tours and take it all in. I'm a huge Walt Disney fan, and everybody running the tours knows that. And just be careful, don't touch anything, obviously, that kind of thing. I'm wandering through the house alone, not worried about it. I've been many scary places on the earth by myself, no problem. So I'm wandering in this house alone. I go into the screening room. I'm gonna appear in the window and close it, like the evil queen at Disneyland, and maybe startle a few unwary guests or something. It'll be funny. Well, I'm looking out the window, and from around the corner, back in the projection room where the projector would have been, I hear, "Hey," like that. And not like close, not in my ear. Ooh, I just thought I saw something move right here, but I mean of the Animal Kingdom ride. I don't know. It's just a leaf or something. Trick of the eye. Oh no, there's a candle flickering somewhere. Anyway, okay, maybe it's this. There's a lot of reflections and weird stuff going on out here. It's spooky vibes, and I'm telling you a spooky story. So anyway, I hear it, and not like in my ear, power of suggestion, hear it, like someone's in there. And they've had several tours throughout the day, and that is an area that was off limits from the tour. Not the screening room. They did see the screening room on the tour, but the projector, no. And so I immediately bolted out of the room. I grabbed the next guy right in the first person I saw that's working here, because I was kind of helping, not in a paid capacity, but just sort of helping out with the friends on the tours. Like I would help be the last guy in the room, close the door, that kind of thing. So I grabbed the next person who's working here, and I go, "Dude, you have to come in the screening room with me. Someone's hiding in there." And that was my first thought. I was not thinking ghost. Why would you think that in real life? So I go in there, I grab him, we go in there, and dude, there's nobody. Not only is there nobody, that door can't be open. No one could have escaped. Impossible. There is no one in there. I don't know what to think. I don't know at this point. I don't know what to think about this. What are you talking about? Hey, whispering. But every time everyone told the story, or they'd be like, "Hey," to me all night, they're getting like this, and it felt intense in there. So this guy who's part of the ghost thing, who's like, "Oh, I'm sensitive to the spirits," that kind of thing. Stuff that I normally think is a little bit nonsensical, not into it. I'm still not into it, Seeing a ghost is one thing. Believing the TV ghost hunter version of what ghosts are is another thing, and I think I'm permanently skeptical about that. That's just me being honest. But this person, who I respect, otherwise, in all other ways of life, oh, that's where they hide. Maybe he's right. I could be completely wrong. Don't get me wrong. Hey, I don't know everything about the world, and I certainly don't know anything about the afterlife. I've never been there. I don't want to go soon, so I'll have to take his word for it. But that's where they're all hiding because of the tours. Oh, well, you don't want to hear that right after you heard something whispered to you in the dark of Walt Disney's haunted screening room or whatever. This is a room that people who lived in the house before said they will not go into in the dark by themselves. Okay, well, now I know why. Fast forward. The next whole group of tour people are here. I'm with Ernie. He's done a million of these paranormal investigations and setting them up in amazing historic locations, which is why you should follow Haunted Orange County if you're into that type of thing. They do all kinds of weird events, and you never know when one like this, an amazing opportunity, is going to pop up. So that's just a little shout out to my friends. But he's done all these different events, and I've been to them with him, very nonchalant. And he and I were standing just outside. Oh, someone's getting their package. He and I were standing just outside of Walt Disney's bedroom door that leads into this sort of rotunda tower sort of thing in the center of the house. And in fact, you could see the light on in the bedroom earlier through this window. No. Oh, well, you can still see the light on here. We're standing just outside the door to Walt Disney's bedroom. The rest of the tour has gone across the house into a different bedroom. A few of the tour people could see across at the door to this room, and Ernie and I are standing outside of it. I'm telling Ernie about the story downstairs, and he's telling me, oh, what if the ghosts can float upstairs through the floor and get you? And I'm like, dude, don't even say that. I'm still totally weirded out. I'm not saying it's ghosts. I'm still not saying it's ghosts. Trick of the mind, power suggestion, creepy old house, who knows? But. Spooky. Dog starts barking, wolves start howling, Dracula bats start flying, and then the light goes out. I'm gonna turn the light back on for you. But. You know, power of suggestion is heavy and all that stuff, but I'm just saying. I'm like, dude, shut up, don't say that. And at that moment, we had halfway closed the door. The air conditioner had already come on, so it's not something that just started. But I had halfway closed Walt's door because there's a sort of a dresser in there or something. It sort of looks almost like a person-ish. So I closed the door halfway. Heavy door, not a door blowing in the breeze type of door. And we're standing there, and we're looking towards the tour group. Luckily, 2 or 3 of the girls in the tour group were looking at us, and the door slammed shut. Right when I was telling him, dude, don't even say that about spirits could be in that room from this room or whatever. Bam, the door slams. And here's the thing, the people that witnessed it, not only was Ernie with me witnessing it, that whole tour group heard it and saw it. And I mean slammed hard, like the Santa Ana winds had come up or something. Hard slam. They said they could see the door. It wasn't like it was like, bang, right? And unlike tonight, which is rather breezy, it wasn't breezy last night. The door slammed as if someone had been behind it and slammed the door. That's terrifying. Next up for the 3-pack, and that's why I came to you with this video here. I've got to tell you the truth. I know I sound like a crazy person, and I now understand why people with ghosts, Bigfoot, alien stories, weird stories, they don't want to tell you because it feels crazy. Oh, the light came on. Bathroom. It feels crazy. I feel crazy even telling you this, and I grant you there might be completely rational explanations. For the first 2 things especially, I have no idea how to explain this though, and this was the cherry on the top. In the bedroom of this house that is supposed to be the most haunted, in the next room that we went into, our tour leader does the tour. Todd, Dusty Sage of my chat, an expert at all things Walt Disney. He's stayed and he's lived in the house. He's heard at different times. He's heard stories from other people who've lived in the house and from the owners of the house and from previous residents of the house. He really knows his stuff when it comes to this house. He's leading the tour. He's telling the stories. They move on to the next room. Ernie and I are standing back in the first room. I'm still chicken. I don't want to be alone after the door slamming and the whispering and all that stuff. And he's like, his stuff is in that room. So he's like, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to change my shirt. You go with the tour group and just sort of like make sure no one comes back this way. I'm going to change my shirt. I'm going to turn the light on in here. So, okay, cool. So I step out. He closes the door. He's changing his shirt. And he comes out. And he goes, oh, he forgot something. No, he didn't want to turn the light back on or anything. He just goes in there really quick to grab something. He's like, hey, come here. I'm like, what? He goes, like you've heard a million times from kooky, nut jobby, just, you know, people that you're like, okay, you know, old Uncle Bill or something like that. You hear some crazy story. You've heard this a million times in cheesy ghost shows from cheesy people that you have no reason to believe ever, and I totally understand why you would not believe any part of what I'm about to tell you, okay? I'm with you. I don't believe it myself, for real. Dead sincerely, I wouldn't believe this if anyone else told me this but me. This is insane. He comes in and he goes, I think there's a shadow, like almost like a person, like a blacker shadow than the black room. And it was pitch black up in this bedroom. There's heavy curtains. It's dark. It's on the dark side of the house, only facing trees. There's no houses or anything like this on this side. There's no lights, nothing. And the tour group is 2 rooms down with little candle lights. There's only the faintest hint of it can see anything. And I'm like, dude, Ernie's messing with me because he loves to mess with people. And of course he does all these ghost tours, and so it's easy for him to mess with me, especially after the frightens I've already had in the house that night. Again, I wasn't thinking that I really ghosts or anything, just 2 spooky, weird coincidences, door slam, weird whisper. I wasn't feeling it. I go back in that room, like, don't mess with me, dude. I go in there, and I see the outline of a person standing there with a hat on. Not this type of hat, but with a hat on, standing there. I was like, no, loud. Where the total tour group heard me. I was very disruptive that night. And I raced into the room with the tour people, and I was like, I would not go back there. It was freaky, freaky, freaky deaky. Dude. Okay, I know. I would not believe this story either. Feel free to completely not believe me. All I can tell you is what I saw. And here's the crazy part. When Ernie thought he saw something and got nervous, I've never seen Ernie scared before, so I didn't recognize it at first. That's why I thought he was messing with me, because he was acting scared. I've never ever seen him scared. And I told you, we've done all this haunted stuff. I've seen him do all these weird haunted things. And it's not my bailiwick. I'm not one of those haunted people. When people tell me they saw a ghost, I believe they thought they saw a ghost, but I don't believe that there necessarily was a ghost. I don't believe really in ghosts. I have a very hard time with that stuff. But anyway, so you can see the street all the way down there. I had never been inside of this gate till yesterday, but that's the positive side of the story. Let's talk about that in a second. So anyway, I'm freaking out. Oh, that's the projection room. I don't want to be near that. Let's go this way. I'm not very comfortable with that. We're doing all this. Where was I in the story? Oh, I see this freaking person standing there. I don't know how to explain to you. Like, standing in the room. I thought he got that other guy that I had grabbed earlier to check out the screening room and make sure nobody was hiding. I thought he had got his buddy to come and stand in there or something, like when he had the door closed or something like that, to scare me. That's what I thought was happening, because I'm telling you right now, there was something in that room. When he saw it at first and wanted to call me in, he thought it was weird that there was like a shadow that looked like a person in the corner. This, what I saw, and he is my witness because he saw it too with me, which is the craziest part of it. Otherwise, I would think power suggestion, I saw something that I didn't really see. When he saw too, it's standing in the middle of the room. So much so that I thought, okay, if there wasn't a person in that room, he must have hung his jacket up on a bedpost, right? A bedpost, and then he hung a jacket and a hat up there or something. So when the tour finished, I came back around to that room. There aren't bedposts in there. There's nothing to hang it from. I'm telling you guys, I don't know that ghosts are real. Call it evil spirits. Call it benign spirits. Call it tricks of the imagination. Maybe it's electromagnetic fields. Maybe it's aliens, mind projecting stuff into your brain. I don't know what it is. But whatever it is that people say they see, when they swear up and down they've seen a ghost, they've seen an apparition, they've seen a phantasm, a thing, I can now say solidly I have seen whatever that is. Like, more solidly than ever. I mean, the triple pack of stories here is me doubling from all the years I've wandered the earth, for more than 3 decades of exploring and seeing things, and all those years in the band, staying in different people's houses, creepy old houses and all kinds of places, and going to France and wandering around in castles and the Queen Mary and all kinds of places that are haunted, and staying in haunted hotel rooms. I doubled my, I don't know what that was, ghost stories in one night. So normally when they do tours of the Walt Disney Storybook Mansion, which you can look up on Facebook, normally when they do tours or events, they revolve around Christmas time or Disney tours or things of that nature. They'll be historical in nature. They have nothing to do with ghosts, and they, specifically don't talk about ghosts, because that's not what this place is all about. It's really about the legacy of Walt Disney. That's the main thing. And of course, there are other families who lived here and raised families and had wonderful memories here. And so there's a lot of positive, wonderful things. And Walt Disney co-designed this house with his architect, built this during the studio years. It's an amazing place. So that's what they want to focus on, obviously. So that's what we should focus on here at the house. So they don't tell ghost stories, but once a year usually, of course we got a little mixed up in 2020, but once a year, oh, there's the tour coming back down through the house. And they're splitting up to do ghost investigations. So I'm gonna head around the back of the house. Once a year, if you're lucky, you just might be able to come out for a Walt Disney house tour. Wait. Oh, no one's around the back. Let's go around the back. Once a year, if you're very, very lucky, you might be able to come out to the Walt Disney house. I'm walking briskly because it's very spooky out here, and I don't know where the other half of the tour is. They're somewhere indoors. Once a year, during this time of year, during the Halloween season, you gotta be careful. There's creepy steps here. Oh, you know what? We're not supposed to film inside the house, so I'm gonna try not to show you anything through the windows, except you can see the candle people moving around in there. Creepy, huh? Only at this time of year, only at this time, and check out the view the other way. Holy cow. This would be the view out of the girls' windows and into LA. This is why they have the heavy curtains, because this light will keep popping up. How amazing is this house? It is incredible. What was that? Once a year at this time of year, if you're lucky, you just might be able to come out and snag yourself a ghost-themed, a paranormal-themed tour of the historic Walt Disney Storybook Mansion. Okay, now we're outside. Can you guys see? It's so dark. In the pool area, I'm just making sure. Probably seeing my own phone's reflection here. So I am doing this on a phone because I didn't have any other kind of camera with me. I'm just trying to see where the investigators and people are. Oh, I accidentally turned the light on. They probably want it very dark for spookiness, my bad. Just because I want to know where they are, because I don't want to get spooked. I don't want to get spooked again. It's my hopper angle. But anyway, look at this amazing view. So now that we're out here, what was I saying? Okay, so once a year you can try and get the spook. So I'm sorry, I'm spooked. So I'm sorry if I'm talking frazzled. I'm frazzled from last night. And the only reason why I agreed to be back here after dark, I did not want to be, but the only reason is because Allie didn't get to come yesterday to the house, and I wanted her to see this amazing place. Once in a lifetime opportunity to sort of wander the grounds like this. Everything. So there you go. That would be Walt's bedroom here. That's very creepy. That's the door slamming room. The projection room was in here. See, this is the screening room, this thing here and this door, and they were serving drinks in front of that door. So those are the curtains I was trying to open, and my whisper came from back in there. So I don't want to mess with this room. You'll forgive me and understand, I'm sure, that I don't want to have nothing to do with that. But there is something that I want to show you that is very important, and I want to come walk under this and make sure this light stays on for a second, which is this. To switch to the positive side of things, that I showed it in the longer video in glorious 4K. You can probably see it much better. That is the playhouse that Walt Disney had his studio workers build overnight. They lost their Christmas Eve, and while his daughter slept, supposedly, had his studio craftsman build this 7 dwarves cottage for his 2 little girls, Diane and Sharon, his miracle babies, one adopted, but still, his 2 little miracle children here. And they loved it. They loved it their whole lives. This was their favorite thing. Took pictures in front of it for years, even as, basically adults, teenagers, late teens before they moved out of the house. That was their playhouse. And if you think about it, like I said, this is the first purpose-built structure built by Walt Disney and his studio staff to bring joy to children, spark the imagination in the storybook style. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, I was saying is the first Disneyland. I think that you can tactically make that stretch, but it is certainly, literally, Walt Disney's first Fantasyland. Maybe not just this, the whole house, the storybook style. This is his first storybook mansion, and his first real Fantasyland for children, though, is right there. And that, nothing feels creepy about that. It is so cute. They haven't restored the inside to the way it would have looked back in the Disney Girls era, and as you see, it's got a very stubby porch. You can look up footage, Diane Disney talking about this, and they'll show old 8mm or 16mm color footage of them playing in their playhouse. This stick here, we can get closer. This stick here had a mailbox on it for the girls. So the girls had their own little play mailbox out here, and it would have been out more. But the Disney's pool would have been further down the hill in a lot that's now part of another house. I'm told the pool and the pool house are still there. But this got shortened up when, whoever built the pool, whichever family came next to build this pool, they didn't want to ruin the grand staircase to the lawn. And so they wedged it up against the house. But amazingly, they preserved the house. I mean, how easy would it have been just tear it down or move it? And all the owners of this house for 90 years have saved this. Since the Disneys moved out in 1950, so 50, 60, 71 years, new owners have preserved and protected what is really the original Disneyland or Fantasyland. I mean, Walt Disney's first stab at purpose-built fantasy storybook-style buildings for children was this little playhouse that they left. You can see where the mailbox would have been on that post. It originally would have been in this corner, actually. And this gate, the gate opens here. Obviously, the old gate would have opened in front of the house, but like I said, they rearranged everything. So it's amazing. And there's also acreage back behind the house that the Disney's owned, and it's just this incredible place. So I really strongly, I had to come bring this video to you guys. A little Halloween special, if you will, because by the time I leave here, it'll be midnight and it will be Halloween. A little sometimes vlog action. Something I've considered bringing back before. If I did, maybe to another channel, I don't know. We're doing Random Land shorts now. We'll do some short Random Lands. They could be any kind of quality. They could be a phone. They could be 4K. They could be anything. Some short Random Lands. Got new things coming your way all the time. But maybe I'll pop up on a second channel nobody ever knows about to do more sometimes vlogs. We do them every once in a while for Patreon. Only, obviously. You guys have seen those. But there you go. I had to come back and talk a little bit more about my crazy experiences, which again, I do not expect you to believe. I'm not expecting anyone to believe me, nor am I saying I'm a paranormal expert, nor am I claiming that I saw, in fact, a disembodied spirit. I am not a paranormal person, nor do I want to mess with anyone's funk or get anyone to change their religious beliefs to match whatever weird anecdotal experience that I may have had. I'm just telling you what I think I thought I heard. The door slamming is just irrefutable. Who knows what could have caused it? Maybe a whisper, maybe it was the creak of the house. And maybe the door slammed because of a freak breeze because someone opened the bathroom window in another part of the house. I don't know, but whatever that black thing was in the room that Ernie saw first and then both of us saw together, I can't explain that. That was the scariest thing ever. And if there wasn't a person whispering at me or standing in that room, I don't know what it was. I kind of don't want to know. So for the sake of argument, to ghost people, sure, I saw a ghost. To people who don't believe, I get it. I have no idea. So I'm just putting it out there for Halloween. I'm just trying to be honest and tell the pure truths of what I saw and heard. And it's completely freaky. What I felt, I don't even want to enter into it. Because I could tell you how heavy and creepy the screening room felt when I went back in there with the guy and he's like, you feel that heaviness? It did feel completely temperature different. I mean, there's more details I can add, which I will in the Patreon podcast. But I'm not even giving you the feeling side of those other parts. Creepy, totally wild. I'm not giving you my wild spiritual speculation. Just telling you what I thought I saw and heard. But isn't this incredible? So I encourage you. The other video is only about 10 minutes long. You can go watch that if you want to see this house in the daytime in the sunset and get a little more of a detailed view. And I'm hoping to hopefully partner in the future, maybe have some kind of event here. If not, though, definitely keep an eye on their Facebook page. Tell them I sent you, please. Walt Disney Storybook Mansion. Go follow that page on Facebook. I think they have a page. Tell them I sent you. Tell them hello from me. Tell them hello from Justin Scard from Random Land, and check that out. Isn't that incredible? So back here, I feel totally fine. This is like all Walt Disney energy back here. Energy, except that orb, the iPhone camera orb. But it's all positive. Like, wow, isn't this amazing? The first Disney thing built for his daughters, the love and the family memories. And that's sort of how the living room feels, too. It's the rest of the house that gives me the willies. Old Wacky Willett telling his wacky ghost stories again. Old Wacky Willie, that's me, old Wacky Will. Just telling you some ghost stories. So you don't have to believe me, but there they go. Look over the hedge there. Wow! Unbelievable. When it's not foggy, you can see downtown LA so clearly. The crazy thing is about this too, just over this hill's just blocking it, you'd be able to see Forest Lawn in Glendale where Walt Disney is buried. So just under 2 miles from here, his Uncle Bob's house, where they started the Walt Disney Company, Disney Brothers Studio at the time, in Uncle Bobby's garage, and then just down the street was the first Kingswell studio, and also less than 2 miles from here is the first Hyperion Studios, the big studio that Oswald and Mickey built, and Lyric Avenue, where he first built his first house with the Oswald money, and Mickey Mouse was born, only just under 2 miles from here. So imagine, under 2 miles and under 10 years later, kaboom, you've built this incredible place. All right, I'm gonna let you go from the backyard because I've got to traipse my way past all those steps and through the darkness, although at least going this direction, the lights come on a little faster. You definitely can't, there are cameras and all kinds of stuff everywhere, so it's not that nobody would find out what happened to me, but it's a little creepy being out here alone. So I'll leave you here with the positive side. And remember, Walt Disney proved a poor boy from the Midwest who couldn't even go to school because he had to deliver newspapers for his father in the snow, built all this, and then went on to conquer even greater and greater heights. Man, don't let your heart be filled with sorrow, for all you know tomorrow. A dream that you wish will come true. You never know. Don't give up. Don't stop believing, no matter how your heart is grieving. And I'll see you guys next time. For now, you've done your duty. You can go home and walk well.
All right, I had to give one update to you guys. After I filmed that, the paranormal investigators, and like I said, I have no idea whether the things they do are legit, if they're all in their head, whether science can back it up at all. All I know is when the paranormal investigators were done and came out of the house, they had their little recordings of their spirit boxes and all that stuff. And when they went in that screening room, the one where I heard the, hey, they had all these weird recordings of the radio box thing saying my name. So I don't know who these investigators were, which ones they were, or where they're from, or what their deal is. But apparently their thing, twice, they came out with recordings. Look, the radio weird thing said your name 2 times when we asked who they were talking to or whatever. Terrifying. I was blocked in by another car, so I couldn't leave. I had to wait until they came out and told me all their ghost stories about how the ghosts were talking about me. I don't want the ghosts to know about me. I want to remain anonymous from ghosts. Oh, Dracula's after me. All right, guys. Check out these. I did make some more hand-painted wooden signs. Everyone's been asking me for them, but I've been using them as Halloween decorations on the front of my house. So they'll go up for sale tonight on the eBay. And there's, of course, the regular store.randomland.com, all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me on Halloween. Have a happy and safe Halloween. Go home.